Do you guys see the butter in the pan?
Is that good butter?
Well, it's the best I can get.
Okay.
I don't have access to like the super premium stuff, which is like grass fed and such.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever I cook my steak, and this is like for 2 slices, I have a slice that's this thick, and then I cut it in like half, or like actually more so. I do this. I cut it at about here because I know that I need this much butter to fry it. So this is a good metric to keep, and I eat this separately from that. This is what then gets molten in the pan.
Oh, that's interesting.
High heat, medium high. Actually, in this case, you want to have super high, which is pretty good. Then the butter starts melting very well. By the way, look, see? It's a Giga Chad fucking actual steel pan. So we're no longer doing this thing. You know?
Yeah, what's that thing called?
I don't fucking know, it's a pan. What is that thing called? What do you mean?
We don't have those in America, really.
I mean, it's just a pan. You can like order one from fucking China or wherever you get it. Just make sure you get the proper metal so it doesn't fucking leach. This is like
Right.
high carbon, so you should be fine, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Actually, it's not even high carbon. I don't even know what the fuck this is. I just know it's like made out of steel and it's pretty decent. And now I have it. Now I cook with it.
I have faith in you. I was really into steak for a couple years, and I had a really amazing sear. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you're into the whole searing thing, but
You mean like reverse searing thing? Because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually sear this because obviously that's what you're kind of doing.
oh, cool. Well, yeah, then yeah, pretty much that. But I just mean like like the searing like maximalist types.
Yeah, searing maximizer. You mean like the kind of people that take like a little spoon and they like put it over their over their meat?
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
don't do
sure.
that. No, that's fucking stupid. I mean, that's not stupid. Okay, okay. So I'm a person who's a practicality maximalist. Okay, if something is impractical to do, I'm just not gonna fucking do it. Like, is it really worth the effort? Type of deal. You know? Oh wow, it's getting almost as hot. You can tell that it's hot enough by the fact that it stops bubbling and it starts getting a little bit brownish at the bottom. Do you see that? This is like when you
Uh,
start putting the steak in. So for me, what I did is I already like put some seasoning on the steak and I let it do this thing. So it's like actually very nice and like it marinated in a little bit. And there's also less moisture that's on the steak itself. So this way, when it hits the pan, you get like you get the proper thing going.
that steak looks great.
Thank you. You want to really press it in there so you get that nice little reaction going. And like you have the meat's like protein juices and you kind of like put them in the side here. There you go. So they can like kind of fry off. You see what's happening? They kind of coagulate.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
this what also people don't understand. It's like the meat itself is not actually a like the stuff that comes out of it that's red is not blood. That's actually just protein juices. Okay?
Oh God, I know, dude. I've been dealing with this for like 10 years, trying to explain it to people, and
I know,
even
right? They
then,
like
they
say, "Oh my God, there's blood coming out of it." I'm like, so you know how it works that blood is being transported in like veins and shit, and like they drain the blood first. You know, how did they
yeah,
drain all the blood? And like, if they did that, then why is there blood still in there?
yeah, man. It's a battle we're never gonna win. I don't
It's so
think.
true, yeah. It's a fucking stupid battle too. Like I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Like one person in my family is a die-hard fucking like I have to cook my steak until it's well done type of person. I'm just thinking to myself, my dude, well done is taking the steak and turning it into fucking rubber. You are paying money for high value premium fucking steak and then you're turning it into gray rubber. That is a fucking insult to the makers of the meat, to the fucking cow, your ancestors, and your fucking finances. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, and hopefully your progeny, you know, if I were Trump's kids, I would be embarrassed about well done in ketchup from their dad.
Think that is ready. Look at that sear, dude. What do you think? Looking good?
Looks great, man.
That's
You're blurring out a bit, but from what I can see, that's actually pretty nice.
It's almost finished. Like, I'm making it very, very hot, and like making sure it sears properly, and then I let it sit in the pan after it's finished just so that it can cook through, and then we'll cut the meat up later, and then it's like perfectly, like, you know, cooked all the way through. Like, you don't want to
yeah.
you don't want it to be cooked gray. Come again? What did you want to say?
Oh no, I just said, oh yeah, just agreeing. No, that's pretty much my method. You know, you find that middle ground.
See,
Like they're like these chemical reactions and like the fat interacting with the heat and all that. And I don't know. I was really into steak, man, for like 3 years. Like, have you ever had the like, you know, the $50 steaks, like where it tastes like it melts in your mouth? I forget what it's called, but
oh yeah, I know that. Wagyu is pretty decent. Wagyu is one of those things that you have for no other reason than the fact that it just tastes amazing. And it's a thing you can only have like once a month.
yeah,
Not because it's expensive, but because you just simply get sick of it.
yeah.
So it's like a thing, you eat it, and then a month later you're like, you know, so like you eat it, and then for weeks after it's like, I don't want to eat it. And then like when a month hits on the finish, you're like, fuck, I need my Wagyu. And then you get it, and you like eat it, and it's so fucking good. And it's like having sex for the first time, you know. And then you like realize you can't have that again, but with the experience this time, that's like what Wagyu feels
I
like.
was just gonna say it's very romantic and sexual. And you kind of like filled in that thought for me, so it wasn't like this awkward, like half baked like thought.
All right, there we go. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So you can like take a look at the bottom. See, the sear is just sufficient enough. So now we're just gonna let it rest and let the heat kind of like do its magic. So it then starts to like go and seeps into the meat and then like does all the juices thing. And that's what we're doing right now. And then after that, I'm gonna commit a cardinal sin by cutting it up on this board. By the way, in the future, I'm gonna exchange this board to something else. It's just to want like this. You know, I like it because it's nice and, you know, cube shaped. Not cube shaped. Sorry, square shaped. My bad. Sorry. I've been thinking about cubes and orbs. My bad.
No, I dig that one a lot, actually. It's right up my alley.
Nice. Do you know there's like a... By the way, do you know there's like a thing that's called the Lesser Orb Company? Sorry, the Lesser Cubes Company?
No.
It's the thing that Thermo's doing.
Oh, shit. No, I heard about that,
I
but
was
I
like in
never
a group.
followed up on it.
I was in a group chat with them. And he was like, I showed him like the 2018 picture, and he lost his mind. He's like, what's the actual product? There is no fucking product. And then he was like, what's the product? And I replied to him with a Zapinski triangle. And then he lost his shit and left the chat.
That's perfect. Yeah, heck yeah.
I was like, this is the product. Here's a Zapinski triangle.
Yeah. Yeah.
The product is you leaving the chat. It's like mining for stuff, you know? It's fucking funny.
It's mining out, you know, sort of the best.
I was literally at the airport while doing this, and I was like telling this to Mark, and he's like, what? You know, is this really a time that you should be dealing with? And I was like, dude, that's so true. I'm just gonna send him a triangle and I'm gonna log off. Best decision ever. Like, my cognitive security is so much better. Okay, you see that? You see the juices coming out? See that shit? It's happening.
Ooh.
There you go. That's perfect. Now you can take it out of the pan. Because now it can like rest on the side, because otherwise it's going to be well done by the time you're finished. So you want to like have it rest outside. Yeah. And now you have these like beautiful, you have like all of this stuff that you can like use for later. So like you can have bread with this, for instance, right? So I'm going to get some bread.
Yes, bro. Yes. That's the way.
You gotta get some bread. Alright. This fucking ciabatta. I love that shit. It's fucking great. What we're gonna do is we're gonna like smack it on the table and break it up. Get it out of the little baggie, you know? Get the piece of paper like so. Put it over here like that. Get the bread out of the bag if I can fucking like fit my fingers into it. That. Boop. Throw the bag away. Wash your hands. And take the bread and put it in the microwave for like 45 seconds. While that's cooking, I'm gonna have like a little bit of a coffee. Check it. Yum
There
yum.
you go.
Yeah, I can't really see you. I don't see your face, bro.
You can see my hands. Is that enough? You can see like I'm doing hand doxing and like forearm doxing. Is
I
this
love
good?
it. Perfect.
You know? You know, there used to be this thing. I was part of like a group chat where we used to like do a lot of debating, and some random fucking girl came in there mid fucking discussion, and she was like seeing me do this with like my hands because I was showing some information, and then she was like, "Can I have a picture of your hands?" I'm like,
Love that.
okay. And I was like, I just took a picture of my hands and sent it to her because my autistic ass was like, okay, I guess. So here you go. You know, what are you gonna do with my hands? And she was like, thank you, and then went. I'm like, what the fuck did I just do?
Were your fingerprints like visible?
No, dude.
All right.
Like, I just did this, you know, with my hands. I'm like, you know, I just did this.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's perfect, just like that. I'm like, okay, cool, here you go.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's only later that I realized that that's like a fetish, and I was like, bruh.
No way.
That's kind of fucking funny.
I've never heard of hands.
No, that's absolutely a thing. Somehow, some people are like into like the way that some hands look. So like the problem is many people have like the soy boy hands that have like no visible structures on them. You know, like these hands have seen things. They have like scars on them and shit.
Wait, show
like,
me your middle finger. Like, all right, that's a good one.
What?
Yeah, all right, you're good.
What do you mean? Like, what is there like a trick
like
to not
like
being able to do
like
that?
flipping the bird, you know?
Yeah. Can you do this?
Like flip. Yeah, that's a good one. But like flipping someone the middle finger, you know? Do you know that one? Yeah.
No shit. What do you mean?
Well, no, it's just that the soy boy hands, they're really, really bad at doing the middle finger.
Flipping the
Yeah,
bird.
they're terrible at it.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Wow. Why? This is like an average thing. Like, do you mean it's just because they can't stretch it out all the way and it just looks like this?
No, it's more like
I'm gonna have nightmares about this.
like
I love your takes. It's like that's the reason why you're here on Spaces, bro.
yeah, they're very like limp about it, you know? It's like
That's wild.
yeah.
Like they don't do it, or just that they try to do it and they can't?
They do it, but it's like, you know, like their middle finger is like it's not like totally erect, you know? It's just kind of like
I understand. So it's basically like this, you know?
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense. Yeah. Understandable. So I'm like trying to get all of the goodness out of the pan using the bread.
No.
See? Look at that.
Yeah.
So this is my this is my like tomorrow's lunch that I'm making now. There we go, fucking finished. Got all the good stuff. Look at that. We put it in here, like so. And then we start cutting up our meat, which is like resting here like that. See that? Beautiful fucking shit, man. It's fantastic. Alright, now I actually do want to show you how I do it. So I'm gonna like do a thing where it's gonna get a little bit messy, but we're gonna do it and we're gonna like see if it works out for us. Okay. I'm gonna like soak my pan while we're dealing with this. And I'll do the thing, like I'll cut it up. First of all, I'm gonna put the butter somewhere where it's manageable, which is like right over there. And then I'll like cut it up on this thing for you, which is gonna be very weird to do. But hey, fuck it, we'll do it, eh? For the show, for the memes, for the culture.
Indeed.
Everybody I know who's like probably asleep right now, but I'm just like, fuck it, we're gonna do some steak because I promised the people, you know? Alright. So we're just gonna like take this thing off. Beautiful.
That looks good.
No. I think it looks okay. Let me slice it down the middle and see what happens. Yeah, it looks pretty fire.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Is it seasoned? Is it crispy?
It's seasoned. It's not really crispy, but it's seared well enough, I
Okay.
think. This look good?
Yeah.
Color
Yeah,
check
that
looks
looks
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking great, man. Beautiful. Needs a little more salt. but I'm an intense salt maxi type of person. I eat a shit ton of salt.
Yeah.
So I'm abnormal. Like, I'm totally not normal, you know? Alright. First I like to cut off the fat first, and all that stuff, and then get to the slicing of the meat itself. It's just a lot of steak prep, you know? As you can see, I've done this a lot. Whoops. Fuck's sake, that one just fell. Did you see that? The fucking thing just flew like that? Bruh. Bloopers. Bloopers. We got bloopers on stream. Adrian Dittman also has clumsiness problems. Fuck that.
Yeah, I have to cut out like a steak like that into like probably 30 pieces so my kids can eat it. Like,
Oh, I do exactly the same. Unironically, because I like to eat it without wanting to cut it up in the slightest.
yeah.
Oh, this one went so well. Look at that fucking color on that shit. I should have, like, not left it as long in the pan because they're not as thick, but look at the color on this. This is perfect,
Oh,
man.
yeah. Yes.
Look at that. That just did so well.
That's my color.
Sorry. I'm trying to, like, not make it fly off the board, which is, like, a bit of a problem. There we go. So yeah, I slice it into like just a ton of pieces, and then just, you know, I put it in here, like that. Or even, I just put it back in here, and then put the salsa over it, after I'm like finished with it. But yeah. Actually I should put it in there so I can season it. With some extra salt, you know?
Yeah.
Because it makes it easier. So yeah, you guys are getting like the one-on-one fucking like steak prep with Adrian Dittman. Like, this is what you guys can do. Like, see, think about this. Think about this for a second. Anyone who complains about meal prep is a lazy bitch. You just don't want to do it because you just are annoyed by the fact that you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard. Doing this is not hard.
Yeah, but
It's very fucking easy.
Doesn't it get like, you know, by the 6th day, it's like, come on. Like,
no, you do this every day. Now, see, here's the thing. You have to make yourself look forward to it. Here's what you do, right? So with all of this routine, you figure out to do something. You figure out to do something that you can do while you're doing this with your meat, which sounds weird.
right.
So, like, say, hey, you're gonna doom scroll TikTok for like 8 hours, and you want to tell me you don't have time. Fuck you. That's cope, bitch. You have time. So, what you're gonna do is instead of like doom scrolling TikTok for 8 hours, you're gonna doom scroll TikTok anyways with autoplay while you're cooking your fucking steak.
yeah.
How about them apples?
Yeah, it's infallible, you know?
Perfect. See, there you go. That's lunch.
For tomorrow.
Yes. Easy as, eh?
Yeah.
See how easy that is to do? There you go, you just made your lunch. Now you gotta take that to work like the Mexican dude, except that you don't have a thick Latina that made it for you. It's you that made it. It's the veiny guy that made it for you. Which is you, because you're a fucking Giga Chad.
I am a fucking Giga Chad. I am a fucking Giga Chad.
So I put that in the fridge, so then I'm gonna eat that tomorrow. And now comes the part that's actually annoying, the cleanup. Ah. So, you have a bunch of stuff that you're gonna have to clean up, which is this thing, the bowl, and your knife, and the kitchen area. But that's very easy. So we're gonna do it right now. The worst one's gonna be the pan. So you know what I said what I did? I just like already soaked it. So by the time you have to do your cleanup, now it's gonna be super easy. So you can put all this in the basin right away and start cleaning the pan, which is gonna be super easy to do. So by the time you're going to be finished with all of this, you can like sit back and relax.
Yeah. I know.
Because again, like this is the thing. You can like doom scroll TikTok while you're doing all of this. You can like listen to a Joe Rogan podcast or watch your favorite movie or like whatever you want to do. And it trains you to do multitasking. So now you don't waste your time. See, you're doing what you were already going to do anyways, But this time, you're doing more than just the one thing you were going to do the whole time. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden your meal prep becomes a thing you were always going to do.
Right.
So it's like, it doesn't matter.
So wait,
This is what I'm trying to like convince people to understand.
you're meal prepping just one day in advance, though, right?
Well, technically, yeah. I mean, you do this at the end of the day because you're gonna have to do this anyways.
Okay.
And then you have nothing to do in the next day at like the peak. You know, you don't want to like prep something for lunch because it takes too much time. But you do have the ability to do shit after work is concluded, no? So imagine that even from like the 9 to 5 perspective. You know, you get off work at 5. You do all of your shit to like get home. That's gonna be 6 or maybe 7. And then once you have that, you still have like time until 11 or 12 or maybe 1 if you're adventurous enough to like do whatever you want to do. And this thing, like how long has this space been open for?
Like half hour.
There you go, see?
Yeah.
So I just did my meal prep for the next day in like a half hour.
Well, I'm just so used.
Plus the cleanup.
I'm just so used to the whole people they spend like they do the whole week in advance, and it's always like the same stuff every day.
I mean, you can do that shit. Look, I do the same thing as well, where like I eat the same stuff every single day. I'm not a particular person that like cares, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my advantage. But like, I mean, the meal prep by saying I'm going to do everything in like one day, that also makes sense. It just depends on what's good for you. I just like to do this thing because it's easier to do. Because I'm like, I don't want to have many different containers. So like, for instance, right? I have a container now that I have to clean up, right? I have 1. But if I have to do meal prep for like a week, then I have, 7 containers to clean up.
Right.
Why the fuck do I want to clean up 7 containers? And then I have to cook 7 different meals? No, absolutely not. That is fucking insane. I understand some people can pull it off, but I'm trying to address the average person here who wants to like become the above average person by performance. And what I'm doing here is a simple thing that you can do, which is going to save you so much fucking time. Because you can't just in fact do this at the end of the day, instead of doom scrolling fucking TikTok like an idiot and not doing anything. You can still scroll X, you can still watch videos, you can still do whatever you want to do, but you can also cook and eat a steak while doing so. You can also do meal prep for the next day, you know?
Yeah.
Because until you get the fucking thick Latina, you're not going to do anything except doing shit for yourself. I understand, no?
Good shit.
You know, you don't get that fucking person who's like got all the tacos ready made because they got like the significant other that does it for them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to like do this. You know, that's your thing. You know, and it's fine. You know, at some point, you know what you're gonna realize? You're actually gonna enjoy doing this, and then you're gonna go to a restaurant and you're gonna order a steak just to insult them. Because you're gonna like maximize understanding how to like make steaks so good that you make it better than the fucking chefs. So like when I get to go to a restaurant and they actually pull off making the meat well, I am like really satisfied. I'm so fucking happy. I look at like the reviews and everything and I'm like, I don't give a shit about your reviews because they're fake anyways. But like, hey, cook me a steak and see if you can actually make that do something, you know?
Yeah.
Look, see, it says L. Take that L.
Yeah, I had a buddy who he worked at this really swanky spot in like downtown Detroit, and every time I came,
Oh yeah?
he would let me taste test the Wagyu, straight up like $80 worth.
Damn, you lucky bitch.
Yeah, dude, I was super lucky. Like he was a real bro about that.
That's crazy, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have like the Wagyu bro. Like you can fucking do that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Like. Also, you know what else is something? So I have like the whole sink and everything. There's a ton of water, and it's a problem to deal with. So what do? Use this thing. I understand people will look at this funny, and be like, "Why are you using a little squeegee?" I'm like, "Why not? What's the problem? Is it unconventional? Yes. Does it get rid of my problems in like 5 seconds? That otherwise would take me a minute to do? Yes. So what's the argument?
It leaves no residue.
Exactly.
All right.
Nothing. I do it every single time. I've done this for like years now, and I'm always the fastest to clean the kitchen And it's like, okay, cool, there you go, you finished, you know?
Yeah, I'm always just
It's nice.
I'm always just worried about, like soap or some kind of matter still unsqueegeed.
No. That's like, so what you do is like, you don't leave any of the soap behind. That's like the thing.
Yeah.
Right, so what you do is you do this, you do the wiping first, and then you get rid of all the soap, and then you do the squeegee.
Okay.
Because like here's the thing, you know what you do? You do the soaping, then you do the squeegee, then you do the fucking washing without anything there, and then you do the squeegee again.
Okay. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Finito. Or you do what I'm doing right now, where you just simply wipe it all away like this, right? This works also. It's not the best way to do it, but like, hey, you know. It also works for my specific use case. There you go. See? Everything finished. Nice and clean.
Voila.
Boom. Finish. Was that so fucking hard? No, it wasn't.
I'm inspired now. I haven't cooked steak in so long.
See, I'm telling everybody, it's not that difficult to do. You can like do this, and then afterwards, now you got your thing set up, you can like have your coffee, do some degenning, and just like relax and not worry about that. Because that's like out of your head now.
Yeah.
You know, you put it down and it's like a thing that's just computing itself.
Right. Yeah. That's good shit.
I just like put all my food problems in like the triangle of the food, the time, and like the consumption. There you go.
You ever get into
Finish, eh?
You ever get into like broths or anything like that? Like stuff you have to like,
No, actually, I don't get into broths as much. Although I have, let me just remove the phone from the stand. Ah, there we go. Because I have, like, look at my setup. It's a pot that's weighing down the fucking, like, this thing. Because otherwise the phone falls over. Because look. Yeah. Oh, I see Elliot in this stage. Let me bring him up. Let's bring you up. Let's bring this guy up. Oh, my. Oh, fuck. Hang on. Let's bring up this guy. Damn, dude, so many people. Oh, I see Drowsinet's down. I want to bring this guy up. He's crazy. I want to bring all these people up. Let's go.
I saw that. That was pretty funny. I only caught like halfway through, but yeah, good shit.
That's fine, bro. That's fine. Alright, so we got this. Elliot, what brings you by?
Oh, the squeegee meta, bro. I need to pick this up.
Yeah, did you do? If you don't have that, like, what are you doing? If you don't embrace the squeegee meta, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're just spending time that doesn't need to be spent. Why would you spend time that doesn't need to be spent? Somebody explain this like concept to me. Is it a convenience thing or is it like a social acceptance thing? I thought you were like an independent thinker. But you still like I love the types of people that say they're independent thinkers, but then still get like pressured by society to do these like nonsensical things. Like if society pressures you into doing things that make sense, okay, that's a different thing. That's understandable. But if society pressures you into doing nonsensical things, then you're not a free thinker. You're just a guy who watches fucking Fox News and thinks like that's also not legacy media. I mean, like, I understand sometimes they report a little differently because that's their customer base, but they still did in fact fucking fire Tucker Carlson. So like, bruh, you know. So, like, I don't trust, like, any legacy media. I'm worse. I'm, like, so independent that independence looks like fucking chaos. Like, it's a different mind virus that looks symbiotic, so I'm like, I take that one now. So now I just rely off of the like, network that exists on X.com of people who I know are not engagement farmers,
Yeah.
And like, if I want to understand what's happening esoterically, I just like look at whoever's the 2188 badges, and then I just get like my data dump for the week, and for like what's happening in the next couple like years from things, Like I'm gonna ponder my orb, but it's like the great check mark, That thing has happened twice now, which nobody gets because if you haven't seen it, you don't know what it means.
Was
But
it a badge that
yeah.
was the check mark? It's like doubled.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a pondering the checkmark thing.
Gotcha.
Urban Arson like did that. Anyways, Drowsy, what's up, dude?
What's going on, guys? Did you take a bite of that steak?
Yeah, I took a few little nips and such, and like put the rest in the fridge.
Really broke my heart to see you use a electric stove, man. What's going on there?
Bruh, I'm not gonna use fucking gas. I'm gonna use electric. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I am greener than the lazy fucking bitch Greta Thunberg, who's like the hypocrite as a person, who's like absolutely fucking stupid. I use solar, and then I can power my fucking cooking thing with the solar also. So anyone who's like an environmentalist, dude, I can tell them that they're stupid because they don't actually do the thing that they say that people should do, but I actually do. So if I tell them that their technology doesn't work and that they're retarded, I'm correct because I'm actually using the technology and they don't. Like, what are they gonna do? Tell me that they're like no more than me? I'm like, where's your electric stove?
Yes, that is
And
what
like,
they'll
where are
say.
your fucking solar cells? Where are your lead acid batteries that exist in your garage? Like, where is all of that shit? Oh, you don't have that? Good, then fucking shut the fuck up. Go out there, do all that shit, and then become a bureaucrat. You have no experience. You shouldn't be talking to anyone. You should shut the fuck up and stay shut the fuck up.
See, none of that.
Anyways,
None of that has to do with the
look at my
stove.
fridge.
Ooh.
This is my
Oh,
steak
in a
now.
plastic container. Oh no.
I'm gonna solve that problem. Don't worry about it. See, people like cooked me on the fact that I used a fucking non-stick pan. We solved that.
Man.
We're gonna solve this next
Yeah, we're
week.
gonna get you a butane stove. We're gonna get you.
I'm gonna get. He's gonna turn it into a glass container so I can see the insides because I'm particular like that. Milk.
Do you like your sides to touch on the plate?
What?
Are you a
Who does
stickler
that?
of having like your peas touch your mashed potatoes and stuff?
I love that shit.
What?
You ever heard of this?
That's a thing?
Yeah, some people
No,
don't like
I have not.
their like sides to touch. They're like particular about that. You said you were particular, so I was wondering.
No, I'm particular about the fact that I want to see my food so I can get hungry before I eat it. It's like a tease, but it's like for food.
See, my thing with the electric stoves is you just don't get good temperature control. You can really dial in with a flame the exact like temperature, keep it like at a simmer. I can never get like a good rolling boil on an electric stovetop.
Yeah, you can. It just depends on what electric stovetop you use. I can get it. I do, dude. I have cooked so many fucking stews. It's easy for me, man. Like, I don't understand why people make it a big deal.
I've just never.
Like, electric stoves make more sense because I can keep remaking this thing and I don't need to, like, rely on some sort of gas supplier because my supplier is the big glowing orb in the sky that, like, has gravity and does quantum tunneling to get the energy to me.
Nice.
Yeah, me too.
Based.
See, I'm, like, pondering this gigantic orb, and you're, like, not supposed to look at it because it fries your retinas and you don't question that? Just kidding. Anyways,
Do you know about
People do sun
abiotic
gazing.
oil?
So retarded.
do you know
You know
what?
about abiotic oil? The idea that like oil is naturally generated in different
Yes, I do. One of my geologist friends told me how that works, yes. I actually knew that oil was abiotic for like a long time because I used to do this thing where I'd debate, like, you know, the heat of 2019 and 2020, where like everybody wanted to have an opinion and just like take legacy media news and be like, hey, we're gonna just do this thing now. Like, I still remember I used to cook people constantly on the like environmental stuff. So I'd actually do this professional debating where I'd take apart every single one of their positions, eventually even going so far as to start taking apart the logic behind oil and its like finite supply stuff. Because that's bullshit.
What
By
about
the way,
propane?
if
Yeah,
we
so
don't use the hot stuff on plastic, is it still a problem?
yeah,
Not really. It's only a problem if you like scrape it and then you get the microplastics into you. And if you have like if you put anything in it that's like slightly reactive, which is also funny because if you like look at say like metal can, you know this company that's called Liquid Death? They like
Yeah.
put
Yes.
water into
I just
cans,
had one the other
which is
day.
stupid. You know why that's
Why?
stupid? Because you're still drinking from a plastic bottle.
Oh yeah, the inside of the can
right. The
is
inner
lined with
lining.
plastic. Yeah, technically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you just basically are a stupid idiot because you're buying water that's actually in a plastic bottle, except that it's in a bottle that has like knight and shiny armor shit around it.
It's
Literally.
just the marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, and those cans will sit in a warehouse, you know, in like 90-degree heat, just you know, soaking in the BPA or whatever plastic.
Exactly. Dude, not even the BPA. They tried to make it like not as bad by just lining it with like a epoxy type polymer, but that's still not good. See, I do my research. I know like what stuff I consume that's gonna like cause me
So how did
problems.
you end up with plastic containers?
I don't have a better solution at the moment. I'm gonna get one. Like I've only started to actually do the meal prep by like cooking ahead for the day today. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start the meme with a space. But like I'm gonna get a glass container probably like next week or something like that.
Could you not do cast iron?
No, I just had to get that thing. Because I'm using an electric stove.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Gotcha.
I have to make concessions, you know?
Yeah, having like the triple core aluminum pan, that's pretty decent if you can't just do like hard cast iron.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not so bad. You guys, you want to see my Starling table?
Let's see it.
Look, it's my Starling table.
Sick.
It's like next to my office.
Love the table.
Yeah, do you like my Starling table? It's like the thing, which is from the place where Ra is from.
Is that
You
yeah,
know?
Egypt?
Hey, Earth, the solar flares will continue until morale improves?
How strong is the signal
You,
from
you,
the Starlink receiver? Is that like five? Like how does it compare to 5G or something? Like
do you like my keyboard?
Uh,
The LGBT colors.
uh,
He said it! Good job.
I can't.
Oh yeah, I can definitely set those. Here, check this shit out. So I can set the mood, like OLED brightness. I can make the screen, this thing like, sorry, like this thing. I can change like the lighting effects. See, it does like the Matrix rain thing. Or I can like do this. Or I can like do this, you know? Or I can do this, which just like drops randomly. Or I can do reactive, where I can like click stuff and it like leaves an After Effects. See that? Pretty
I
cool,
wish
huh?
it sent little circles
Or
Has
out.
this
cool
one.
patterns on it, yeah,
Look
compared
at
to
this
like the
one.
other ones, yeah. I like the reactive one, yeah. That's
There
cool.
we go.
Pretty cool, huh? Rainbow. Look at that shit. We're rainbow maximizing. Fuck yeah.
Nice, nice.
Color cycle?
Adrian, which keyboard is this?
It's an Asus.
You
It's
have
Asus
Asus
computer.
keyboard now.
I like this because it's so the thing is they have these specific keys that aren't as loud. Like listen to this. It's a mechanical keyboard that doesn't have loud keys. It sounds like a typewriter. You know? You can play
It
stuff
doesn't
with
have
it.
loud keys because you're not bashing them. Like try
If you
bashing the
bought it
I
keys.
up
It
am
will be
before,
bashing them,
louder.
it'll
see?
probably sound like, yeah. Depends if you bought
Look
it
how
right
fast
after
my hands are
upgrading.
getting.
Yeah, how you press the key, basically.
I wasn't paying attention. Did you say what keycaps you have?
No, just go look it up. It's like one of the Asus keyboards.
Holy shit, your
Look at how
APM
fast
jumped
my
up.
click speed
Impressive.
is. Yes. And this is my mouse. See that? Look how fast I can click with it.
Yeah.
That's how I used to play Diablo. I don't use macros.
It's
Elon
different
uses
than
macros. I
Diablo
use
4,
my hands.
boys.
This is why my hands are so weird looking and shit. Because I
Wait,
play video games like a crazy person.
is it a Logitech M1?
No, that's a razor. Like, sorry, that's a
Uh,
basilisk. That's a razor basilisk.
you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It has
I
these
almost thought
buttons.
about getting one.
It has these buttons on the side. So if you're like playing Path of Exile and you want to like do your healing potion and shit, or like your mana
Yeah.
stuff, you can like relegate it to these buttons, and then you have to like press nothing on your keyboard.
Yeah, the Logitech, the M1 to M6 or whatever, they all have the side buttons and like an extra middle button below the cursor.
Yeah, you can like I mean look, you can even relegate stuff to the middle button thing, and then you can change the sensitivity like here if you press
DPI
this little button
switch.
that exists
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. And you can even switch to like what you want, like for signal. You can do like your weird fucking like you can do your Bluetooth or like the 2.4 like thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is my computer. I'm just like standing it up like that, so otherwise it breaks. And this is like media management. So yeah, isn't that fucking funny?
Like the little LED screen on it.
Oh my god, fireworks!
LCD.
Yeah, see, it does
Nice,
this thing.
That's interesting.
dude. This brings back the Druid Lightning Storm vibes. You know, when you could just like listen on your stream, and the loudest noise by far was just your mouse clicks.
The
That's what
old
I'm saying, man. Look, like this
yeah.
is the thing that I have had as a problem, where the keyboard just sounds way too fucking loud.
No, it's great though. People join, and it's
Yeah,
like
fair.
we like can barely hear each other's
Well, a lot of people
voices.
have
Like
built-in
Elon's
noise
in there, but
canceling
you
now,
can't
like
hear him.
Discord, so
And
it
then it's
doesn't
just
matter
like
as much.
bunk 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 like 10 times a second.
Like, hey, I'm speed running. Oh yeah, sure. You know?
And then people are like, I can't hear anybody's voices. Turn it
That's the
down.
point, bitch.
Exactly.
So you know what else I do? In order to like not have my in order to like not have my hands disintegrate from all of the gaming, I do this thing where like kind of I lay my hands on like on this thing here. See that? So I like put my hand like this, so I can like kind of balance it and just have enough arc. You see? That's the other thing I do, because
So
otherwise my
cool.
hand just starts deteriorating. I learned from like from playing Diablo that if you press a shit ton of keys like that and you don't actually position your hands correctly, dude, it's gonna hurt
Yeah,
so
wrist rest.
bad.
I use a
Holy
wrist rest
shit.
also, yeah.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I have a gel pad I use for my wrist so I don't, hurt it.
Yeah, you need to have
Yeah,
that.
wrist
Yeah.
pains are not a wrist pains are not a fucking joke. Like that shit's bad. That shit's so bad.
Yeah, they're like yeah, they're like different than any other type of like ache or pain.
I like the idea.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a debilitating one because it transfers into every other thing that you do, which is horrible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
True.
wish they thought of more ideas after like the trackball and the nipple on the ThinkPad. They kind of gave up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we should talk.
Yeah, I mean, the
I like
industry
the
really did get cooked, man. Like it's just so stupid. Like everything hardware and all that kind of stuff, it started to suck so hard for like no reason. Like even today, I mean, even Android is gonna get fully fucked by Apple soon. Because I'm using an Android and that shit is weak sauce compared to like fucking an iOS, like, the iPhone. And look, if you're gonna max out, you have to like choose what do you want. Do you want to play around with your apps? You get an iPhone. Do you want to play video games? You get an Asus ROG. But if you want to deal with like the inconveniences of like an Android's nature of having to set up everything manually, then it's basically gonna feel like Linux on your phone.
Yeah, and who wants Linux on their phone? Jesus.
And that's what I'm saying. Look, I understand the whole Linux Maxi stuff, but realistically speaking, let's be really honest. Linux is designed for like the server infrastructure shit, and if games were to like, one day be optimized for Linux, then things would be much, much better. But at the moment, playing games on Linux makes no fucking sense whatsoever, because you basically are stuck by doing this thing where you have to have like a game that's optimized for it, or you like run a thing that translates the Windows game requirement to the like thing that exists there, which is the fucking Linux stuff. So you're basically dealing with like a bloatware problem because you take the bloat thing and you put it back in the system and you put it in the place that you don't want it at. So like if you have Windows, which is fucking bloaty as fuck, you have the problem of it being bloaty, but not necessarily at the level of the game, because the game thing is where it's not removed from. If you want to run anything else other than the game, well, there you go, you're fucked. That's why you don't use Windows
yeah,
for your work computer. You use
yeah,
Windows for one thing and one thing alone, that's video games. You don't get a fucking NVIDIA GPU just like that unless it's an H100 if you want to train AIs, because that's fucking a waste of time. You want to run your AIs? Get a Mac Mini. Get a fucking bunch of those things. Daisy chain the motherfuckers, okay? You
Nah,
don't...
bro, metal bandwidth is so shit.
What? No.
Yeah,
Thunderbolt
it's like
interconnect.
Try it.
536
Try
gigabytes a
it.
second on like M4 Max, dude. It's like the
Dude, you're gonna,
H100s are like
dude,
at
dude,
least
dude, dude, dude,
128
dude,
terabytes.
dude, dude, dude. Literally everyone who experiments with these things, including the people that run them for like their little websites and shit, where they're like actually their own AIs, they use the little Mac Minis and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not running it on the Mac Minis. They're SSH into a cluster.
No, they make the whole Mac Mini thing a cluster.
Yeah, well, that's if you're a psychopath and have a bunch of money. But normally you just take some compute
Yes.
credits from someone,
Yes.
and that's
You
it.
don't have to like fucking run an AI if you're not a psychopath and you have money. Like if you want to run a fucking like AI yourself, then you do the thing where you take the money that you would have spent on your server thing and instead make it yourself. Or you can do the easy thing and realize that you're not going to be the one to run it, so you just let everybody else do the heavy lifting for you and just wait and let the problem solve itself.
Like Exo Labs.
Yeah, like why should I be solving the problem? If there's somebody else who has more money and more resources than me, you know, there's like this guy over there, he's like doing this, he's super cracked, and he like has the money to shill, so he's gonna like do the thing, you know, he gets it, he builds it, runs the system, tells me what's wrong with it, and then makes my life easier because he tells me what the solution is, because that's how he gets his engagement, right? And then someone like me comes along and says, oh wow, look at this guy, he's like making this thing. You know, and then you amplify it, and then the mainstream gets to appreciate it, and he gets the clout he's after, the recognition, you know? It's like when a hacker house creates a really cool video, and I'm like, hey, this is nice, you know, then things happen. That's how it's supposed to be done.
I endorse this.
So you wait until things happen, because you already know some people are going to work on it, but if you really see nothing happening, that's when you do it yourself. You can like out-accelerate people as well, but you gotta be wise about it, because otherwise it's just not gonna do anything, and you're just gonna do stupid shit that means nothing. Like, I'm gonna be real. I'm a realist person. I'm not just an optimist, I'm a realist. I'll tell you where things suck, and I'll also tell you where things don't suck. Because at the end of the day, the majority cannot afford to be like the optimist that burns themselves. They can only afford to be the realist so that they can actually have the resources to burn one day, or at a different opportunity that presents itself to them because they seek said opportunity in the first place, right? It's just a wiser thing. Like say, oh wow, you know, I'm not gonna train my I'm not gonna buy a fucking gaming GPU with like the shitty fucking CUDA drivers in it to like make an AI system or like run the AI system. Instead, I'm gonna like take that same money and like save the power bills and just buy a bunch of Mac Minis. Seriously, it's going to cost you less, actually. If you calculate the price, like imagine you get into like your 50 series, you know, GPU from NVIDIA. Guess what? It says it has all those AI tops on it, but you're not going to use any of them. It's useless. And the performance of it as a gaming GPU is worse than the 4090. So you guys can like stop looking for the 5090s, just get yourself the 4090, like get your like CPUs from fucking AMD, put that shit together and like have a great gaming setup. But if you like actually want to get some shit done, you'd save that exact money on like the power costs and all that weird shit that you're otherwise going to throw into your weird gaming GPU and you like set up. Why don't you like take that and turn it into like, hey, we're gonna run this by getting a bunch of like small little computers and like putting them together, and now all of a sudden we have the same, like we have the same costs, but like only once, and we have like 3 to 4x the ability from a compute perspective. Does nobody see the logic in this? I know people see the logic in this because you start to see all the people who like are the pioneers of doing the AI thing and various other stuff. You know, like you have the you know, all those people, they start to chain these things together and putting up in the little towers, so they create their little stack out of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you know, people have been talking about this since like 2021, but nobody listens, and then the big guys start doing it, and then everybody's like, wow, I guess I could also try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then people start making TikTok videos.
even from the first
Right. Yeah.
generation of Apple Silicon chips, the memory bandwidth from like the GPU to the CPU, like it's phenomenal. Like this is really something that nobody else can touch, and Apple's hardware is just like miles above the rest. It's really a matter of just optimizing the kernels and using
Oh,
metal.
and look, the chip architecture for the fucking 50 series over the 40 series is not different. It's the same fucking chip architecture, still run on the same fucking chip.
Yeah.
There is no difference. Except that it sucks more power and has more like supposed compute that you can deal stuff with. Which honestly, someone is going to cook me on because they're going to figure out a way to work it, but I'm like, okay, cool, but I already gave you the solution that's like better and consumes less power. So you can cook me all you want, But at that point, it's just cope because you're using a fucking gaming GPU for something that it's not designed to do. It's just a sell so that you buy it. But if you actually look at the benchmarks and you like bought a 50 series, you're gonna hate yourself because you realize you just like bought this energy consuming thing that burns wires, and you sit there and you go like, fuck.
And the drivers don't
You
work.
just
either.
bought yourself the new fucking... Exactly. This is a thing that's going to be NVIDIA's downfall in the future, by the way, because this is exactly how Intel failed as well. You guys want to know the future? Here's what the future looks like. So,
How long's the future we're talking?
I don't know. Future, I don't look by spending time. So, like, the problem with people when they look at hyperstition and, you know, how futures tend to materialize, they look at it as if it was just a number of time itself, when instead what you need to look at is the set of events that need to transpire for the future to occur.
Right.
For instance, like, hey, did you know Bosnia broke up because some random dude shoved a glass up his ass? You know, you don't say, oh, hey, Bosnia is going to break up, but when's that going to happen? No, instead you have to say, okay, I know when Bosnia is going to begin breaking up. Okay, why is that? Look for the guy who's going to shove a glass up his ass. It's a true story. So, now, if you think about this, for a second, all of a sudden time as a perspective of passage doesn't make any sense anymore. So now you ask yourself, okay, well, is it going to happen in generations or is it not going to happen in generations? You just ask yourself, what kind of conditions need to be met in order for a certain future to occur? And in the case of Bosnia falling apart, it's a guy shoving a glass up his ass for some reason, okay? That's one of the signs. So in the case of looking at, say, you know, Intel and NVIDIA, the reason why NVIDIA was able to beat Intel at various many things is because Intel started to fall victim to the dead player problem. So there's this thing where you can look at, say, dead or live players. A dead player is one that goes linear to zero, and a live player is a thing that just like goes up vertically, that keeps growing endlessly. And to revive a company is to like turn it into a live player once more by creating improvement that keeps having itself as value and innovation rise vertically. So for instance, Apple is a kind of a half-dead player almost, because at some point they did become a dead player because they kept like putting out the same shit, and then one day they decided, hey, we're gonna just do Apple Silicon now, and then they became a live player again, because we're talking about the Macs now, and you got like a hardcore fucking Windows Android user to buy an iPhone with his coins. That's crazy. That's how you know that
I did it.
Well, in my case, I did. So I'm like talking about myself here, and I'm a very stubborn person. So to convince me to do something means there has to be a lot of merit behind the thing that I'm about to do, right? So imagine if something like that happens. That's how you already know that there's a bit of a live player thing that's happening, right? That's an amazing thing. So we're going to go back to the Intel thing. So right now, I want you to look at the NVIDIA thing. NVIDIA right now has pretty good compute, and they have the software for which everything is optimized, right? Do you know what other company had that same condition set? Intel. So what happened to them at some point is they started to get comfortable with the fact that, oh yeah, we just have like market dominance because everything is optimized to like run on our thing. Just like with the AI thing. Look, people are repeating the same thing. They say, wow, why should I switch from like NVIDIA to something else? Because first of all, there is no option. And second of all, even if there was an option, it's going to cost you a lot because you have to like change things to another thing that it's not optimized to be. Right? So you have to like begin again, effectively. So there has to be a very high sell for you, where it's like I get so much more in return for all the effort that I'm going to spend to like optimize my already existing thing to like the new thing. Then there will be a shift. And that's what happened with Intel, because Intel started to have like this curve that went like up and then it went straight and linear. That's when they became a dead player. And instead of doing things to make themselves become a live player again, NVIDIA said, do you see this place where like the curve happens here, where it starts to become linear for like, you know, Intel? We're going to put ourselves right there at the place where it begins to become linear and start going vertical. And that's how they took all of the fucking Intel share from that level. And we're going to maximize our GPU shit. We're going to completely infiltrate, infect, and like take over everything and like put our stuff into all the stuff. Like get people who like, you know, build the server infrastructure to adopt the whole NVIDIA thing and like push out Intel out of the market. And they succeeded, because what do we have now? most of the AI, like if not all of the AI, is running on H100s. They are the best chips at the moment. There is no argument against it. They are the best chips. The problem, however, is one day there will come a time where basically someone will come along with better chips at some point. There's no idea. I have no idea who that's going to be, and I have no idea how long that's going to take, or if we're just at the bubble where it's like the dot-com bubble, but for computers, right? But somebody is going to invest a shit ton of money into like the next big thing that's going to come out from like TSMC or whoever is going to like do this thing, and then they're going to become like the new Nvidia effectively, because at that point Nvidia is already reaching the point where it's starting to flatline a little bit. People think they see improvement, but all I see is flatlining. I am seeing the curve starting to flatten.
Wow.
You can literally see it. Because when's the last time that Jensen brought something out that's like actually revolutionary? Hey, you have like a little Jensen Nano. Okay, get a Mac Mini instead. The thing actually works, doesn't have the shitty CUDA drivers, and it consumes less power, and is the thing that doesn't just, fall apart. It's reliable. Why the fuck would I buy this thing?
Adrian, what do you think about the cloud gaming thing? I think Google came up with like.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. The only thing that should be cloud is the little transactions that happen, so not really the transactions, but the little transmission stuff that happens that like repositions stuff on the screen that's like online. That's the only thing. Cloud gaming will not happen. That's bullshit.
And the
I mean,
graphics quality is not that great on cloud gaming, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Much
Cloud gaming
lag
sucks.
too.
Fuck
Yeah.
cloud gaming. It's a mind virus. I fucking hate it. Just let it die already. It's like on-chain gaming where it's like, we're going to do real-time transaction. No, you're not, dumb fuck. You're going to have a file that you're going to save at the end of the game, and then you're going to put all the moves and shit and all the data that you transmitted online, and then you're going to realize that that's too expensive, and then you're going to, like, your NFT project dies. Then you're going to realize that there's no such thing as on-chain gaming, and that the only thing is like the X.com video game where you just do sim cluster shit. That nobody understands what that just meant. Nobody is going to get what I just said. But you will in the future.
so at Leeches we use something called the fishnet, right? So we basically like crowdsource all these resources for analyzing all the chess games on Leeches.
See, that's perfectly fine. That works for an application like this, but you're not gonna fucking cloud game Halo Infinite
No, dude. Too
or
much
like
lag.
Path of Exile
Just
2.
dying. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's like the amount of bytes that are sent to the server and back every second. It's just like blockchain
It's
cannot afford that. Way too
like, dude,
expensive.
exactly. It's bad enough that you have to like, send all these little bits of information for like all the actions that you complete on the game, because like you have a bunch of graphics stuff that's just being puppeted around by by like the data that you send backwards and forwards. That's literally how it happens. So now you're going to say, we're going to take the puppeting thing and we're going to take the imaging thing and we're going to transmit that as well. Now you're going to have to suffer twice as hard. And there is no company that where it makes sense. You know why? Because here's the problem. In the case of a gamer, they do the thing where it's like, they are responsible for the maintenance of the compute. They are responsible for the debugging. They are responsible for the energy that it takes to run this thing. Why in the ever-loving fuck would anyone in their right fucking mind take on the burden on behalf of the gamer and like literally adjust their difficulty to 2 to 3x to like do cloud gaming? It literally doesn't make sense. You make half the fucking money, you have 3 times the fucking costs and the effort. Why the fuck would you do this to yourself? Honest question.
Because you got paid by a magazine to write about it.
Video game
So
also got
basically you're just getting paid by USAID until Trump comes along and says no more?
slowly
Okay,
selling.
convincing sell. Let me give you like $100 million and watch as that shit burn so I can have like some popcorn. So I'm just gonna like I'm gonna say cloud gaming. I'm gonna get my popcorn out of the microwave with like the weird cancer juice all over it. And I'm just gonna like eat my popcorn like as I watch the market melt. Nice. We can like watch Game of Thrones, but it's like the compute wars and whose bot is better than the other guys.
Yeah,
You
we were
know?
talking about this. Battle bots.
Yeah, dude, it's battle bots, but it's the internet and the stock market.
So USAID
Wow.
was like a
Yep.
hedge for Nvidia against Trump.
Huh? What happened?
So USAID is like was like an ideological hedge against Trump for Nvidia.
Something like that.
And they funded
I mean, you could use
terrorists.
that as a metaphor if you'd like. Yeah, 100%,
And
I
they
guess.
funded terrorist groups. Seriously.
Anything that's artificial, like anything that's artificial and has to be funded by something where normally money wouldn't flow into, is a thing that shouldn't exist. Like if your legacy media company needs to be funded by taxpayers, it deserves to die. Because it's obviously not useful. Because if people don't actively look for the thing because everybody else is already speaking the truth that you're too pussy to speak, then you may as well just like embrace the thing that you are, which is you're the Finnish debt player thing. You have all the, you can become an archiving company now, where it's like instead of like distributing stuff which is news that's made up, why don't you just take everybody else's made up shit and archive it and then hold people accountable? Be like, hey man, this guy said the N word in like 2015, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Like,
Fine.
you can do that. You can virtue signal, you know, and then just make entertainment out of that and like choose where people go on like the social networking thing by like attaching, you know, vectors to
This is
them.
why I feel like
What's the
NVIDIA
problem?
gets, not NVIDIA, sorry, Wikipedia gets a bad rap because it has this whole backend full of change logs. Like it basically has like a git commit system with timestamps and IP addresses. And
Yes.
I've
Yes.
taken recently to just like when I go to a page, just like skipping the page, going to the revisions, reading them first, and then like circling back to the page. And that way you see a page more as like a the current state of like an ideological war rather than like truth written in
Yeah,
print.
dude, I fucking love that. It's an amazing perspective. See, I don't get pissed at the propaganda because there's a timestamp plus the old version, so you can like sift through the propaganda and actually understand
Yeah,
it.
and they
You
have
know, you're like literally seeing propaganda, but it's the
they have like
blockchain.
notes too. They have like a memo field too, so you can see like the motive behind each like
Yeah,
commit and
exactly,
stuff. It's really
dude. You
interesting.
remember? Do you remember like the multi-year fight over like the definition of a specific word, and you could read through the battle logs
Yeah,
literally. It was so
and
fucking
they'll
good.
like
I
triage
love
them
it.
into
It
like a
was
separate discussion
amazing.
forum, and there'll be like a page. If you go to like the Wikipedia Foundation, you can see like pages on discussions about a like debate for how to edit a page. There's this whole like back end part where Wikipedia editors used to have like badges like the military. It's a really crazy thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying, man. Legacy media can become like Wikipedia, where they can have their ideology fight, and everybody else can be entertained, and they get to like live like this. So they get to be zombie player now, extra dead by being alive.
Wow.
You know, this is the problem. You cannot like legacy media cannot be live anymore because it's dog shit. So if you're gonna make shit up, then become like the Onion and just be like an archiving company for propaganda stuff. Like, here's what the government wants the world to look like. And then you can stack that up to reality, and now all of a sudden you know who to vote for and who not to vote for. Which is why they're never going to do that, because that's exactly what they're afraid of.
Well, I saw the creator of Wikipedia like either today or yesterday posted like, "Hey Doge, can you confirm whether or not government agencies have been like editing Wikipedia?" And it's like it's all right there. You can see the IP addresses and everything, and even if it's all routed to the Cayman Islands or something, it's pretty easy to deduce the motivations behind certain like Wikipedia editors. They'll say like it'll be like democracy lover like 96 or something.
Okay, so a couple of things, right? So I tried
Democracy.
I tried contributing to Wikipedia myself, but they actually continuously ban people who use VPN and Tor. So it's hard to kind of obfuscate your IP.
Well, if you use like your own VPN, if
Rerouting.
you like roll a custom
Rerouting.
solution to like route your IP, you can easily like figure out these ways to get around like direct location tracking. But even still, you have these patterns because you have to build a reputation as an editor. So like you'll have these like basically fake like NPC editor accounts that are like, oh, I'm like a Hong Kong freedom fighter, but it's definitely a guy in like Langley, Virginia.
Yeah, that's true in many cases.
Bruh.
And US 8.
It's like when Reddit like was doing the statistics thing where they said, "Hey, our most addicted city is like an army base."
Yeah, or our like our
It's so fucking
our
funny,
most
dude.
active mod is Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh my god. That is so cursed. That is such a fucked up joke. That is so messed up.
Eight
Amazing.
out of 10 of the top subs were run by her.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like it's fucked up, dude. It's amazing. Like I don't use Reddit because like Reddit used to be this amazing thing which people recognized and then they turned it into the not amazing thing. It's like with 4chan, it's the same shit, you know? It's like all the Nazis just remain there and then they call you a piece of dog shit and all the kind of stuff that you didn't even know existed as slurs and you just kind of learn them because it's hilarious. And then you just kind of have that float around in your head so you can understand why they're calling you the thing because it's like their language. You know, it doesn't mean anything, but it means something to them. So you just try to understand it because it's directed at you, and then you like try to communicate with them until eventually they start asking you questions. You know, like we had a communication with 4chan because there was like anons listening to our space, and then we were like talking to them. Hey man, okay, so you want to know something about me? And then they started like insulting us, and then eventually people started asking questions, and we like exhausted multiple like threads on fucking
Yeah, that was
4chan,
fun.
and we weren't even on 4chan. We were just like transmitting out there with like hyperstition into the ether, and it's like everything just kept working. It was the funniest fucking thing ever. I loved it.
Yeah, I like
Do you guys
that.
remember
It
when
was a great time, man.
when GPT 4chan came out?
Oh my,
Because I'm pretty sure most
oh
of
my god,
4chan is GPT 4chan now.
that
I've
is
seen like
hilarious!
so I'll
Wow.
go on the alt boards, like not on Be or Poll or any of those boards. I'll go on like TV and I'll see people
Right,
talking
right.
about movies and like making up things that don't exist, like things that weren't in the movie.
Yeah,
They'll just make up like random trivia and they'll like agree with each other, and it's like, oh my god, this whole thread is fake.
and
That's crazy.
they're always talking up celebrities Chris Evans is gonna be amazing in this one. Like that's one pattern I've always noticed is like they're always like amping up like some like lead actor.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see something. It'll be like, "What movie is this?" Like replying to a screenshot somebody posted, and then somebody will say like, "Oh, like just a made up movie or the wrong movie," and then the replies will be like, "Thank you so much." Like, yeah, that's the one.
They're just like confusing the world. They're just trying to test your cognitive security. It's like, are you aware of reality? And if you're not, you don't deserve to. Like,
Yeah,
know what
they want you to
reality
like
is.
really correct them very like stringently and like be very like stern about like, no, this is the movie. No, that is Shawshank Redemption. That is not the fucking Barbie movie. And but I'm
Exactly,
pretty sure
dude.
like a more than you'd think, a huge portion of 4chan ever since 2017 was like co-opted and turned into like just AI generated like it's just kind of a sea of like fake information, not real posters. If you like use
But
I
I feel
mean, you
like it's
can
gotten
tell.
worse.
It's like most of the unverified accounts that like reply to weird lefty
yeah
content on X as well, and they try to piss off the right wing people, so like get to reply to them somehow. And I just don't care about that whatsoever. It's like when there was the whole fight about the H1B thing, and everybody started to like attack me, and it was all just unverified accounts. I was like, right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna turn on the verified thing. So if you want to speak, you gotta pay $8 to Elon.
if only they had the
So I'm like, you want to insult the like Adrian Dittman Gen Z Elon thing. You're gonna have to pay real Elon like
it'd
$8.
be great,
There
yeah,
you go. You
in
can insult
Bitcoin.
me all you want, but pay Elon is $8.
Has
Fuck
to be
you.
Satoshis though.
Hey, I mean, you want to spam me? I would love. I mean, go ahead, man. But you're gonna have to like pay for each reply. You know, like that's the beautiful thing about like those social experiments where they, like try to make it so that every single reply or something like that is somehow a thing you have to like work for. You have to like mine it. So otherwise it just becomes too expensive. It's like when you want to use a website, but every click is like $1 to like access it. So if somebody wants to send you a bunch of bots, they're just going to bankrupt themselves.
Yeah, or
It's like, oh yeah, send the bots because they're just going to pay you money now.
yeah, Cloudflare has no
Right.
problem putting up like basically a hash wall on most sites.
Exactly, man. It's like America has the inverse effect also, which is kind of funny. I like to call it the Great Freedom Wall.
Oh yeah.
Because like you scale it and then you get infected with like von Neumann stuff and you start thinking about how to like make things go up and how to
Right.
like do VC shit, which is amazing. And then the triangle thinkers come along and say, hey, we can solve all your
Just
problems.
draw a triangle.
Exactly.
Uh,
It's as easy as that, guys.
Literally.
For all you listening out there, just draw a fucking
If you haven't
triangle.
drawn a triangle in a
Exactly.
while, you might not have since like school, since you were like, sitting at a desk in your notebook. Try and draw a triangle. You might find out some stuff.
Literally,
Yeah,
yeah, dude. You remember
big
like when
time.
you remember when you were like, 13 years old and you entered geometry class and they taught you about like Sierpinski triangles and then they started like diverting your attention immediately because that's the magic trick. You were missing the thing that could have like unlocked your brain. When you start thinking and like, hey, we're gonna start thinking about cubes now, but what if we started thinking about like triangles, circles, and like turning those circles into orbs and things and like,
Do you remember the first
lattice
time you saw
things.
the S? The S that you
The
draw in
what?
a notebook, like it's the pointy top. You know what I'm talking about? It's like 3 lines, and then you draw the diagonal. You make an S out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a very influential shape for me.
Interesting. For me,
Yeah.
it was just cubes. I fucking loved cubes. I think they're so cool. I love cubes. Cubes are awesome.
Did you
You
draw a
know?
lot of robots growing up?
No, I drew a lot of cubes and shit. I was like very heavy into geometry and understanding like spatial
Did you
shit for
do?
some reason. I
Gotcha.
really loved that. And like drawing it out on paper, I was really good at like technical drawing because of that. Like I'm really fucking good at it. So I would like this is the thing where I was 12 years old and I was like I kept drawing cubes and things to like calculate volume in it, and then eventually I started to ask myself questions when I was like doing the 2D chart of like trying to understand where you can like put points on the distribution thing. I was like, hey, wait a minute, if I can like do this with statistics, that means that there's like points in space, and if there's like points in space, what if I made it like 3D? Okay, yeah, cool. Now you have like the secret third thing, and you like put things in space. Now it's like a vector. I'm like, wait a minute, what if there's like this thing now, there's something missing, time is missing. So how do I represent it as a line? So like everything is a line, you get the von Neumann problem of like everything is a line now, so you like represent dimensions with lines, and you have like the third dimension that you can still represent on paper. And so you know what I did? 12-year-old me was like, the fourth dimension is missing because you can have points in space, but you have to have the actual movement of things happen in space. So I literally just took the pen, I put it on the paper, and then I drew an imaginary line in space.
Wow.
I was like, this is time. And then I even told it to my parents. I was like, hey, so technically speaking, because there are 3 dimensions where it's like stuff that exists in space, the movement of stuff within space doesn't actually happen if there's only 3 dimensions. So there has to be a 4th dimension that allows for the movement. Is that correct? And they said no. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pretend that I accepted your answer, but I secretly think you're retarded. So then one day, when I was like 18 years old, I decided, I had this thing as a kid where I really want to understand geometry again. I decided to look it up. And what did Einstein say? There's a fucking temporal dimension. So I was right.
This is not.
Because it's just logic. You don't need to be like a super physicist to figure out that there's like upscaling.
This is not very different from the process of becoming a filmmaker.
Exactly. You just figure shit out. Everything piles on top of it. Like every great mathematician figured stuff out by like saying, hey, there's this weird thing that exists that the next logical progression to the thing that is here is like this thing. And then you put it there, you try it out, and you like implement it in other systems, and all of a sudden you like have this great orgasmic realization of wow, it works. And like the problem with the weird fucking cocked mindset of most people is that they've forgotten how beautiful that feels to like accept a new version of reality and be like, hey man, I found out this new thing and I'm just going to implement it and fuck around and find out. That's like why the US is so successful. It's because they have maximized the fuck around and find out thing, except that they run into a problem eventually where they fuck around so much that they've forgotten what they found out from the previous FAFO. So it's like no curation. It's like the problem with the people who are, schizos, where they don't understand that what they're doing is just being stupid. So they just keep posting infinite bullshit, and they don't curate any of the data and like turn their infinite bullshit into like, triangles and thinking in circles so that they can actually turn it into like a computer and be like, hey man, now I can figure out problems. But instead I'm just gonna like put out noise. So now you're just like quantum computing minus the thing that's computing, and you're just quantum, which is just noise. So fuck you.
You have to be
That's
sculpting
why.
in time.
Yeah, literally. That's just so fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense. That's why I can't really schizo post. I can only post. We live in the post-tweet era. Which is so good.
Wait, the post what era?
The post-tweet era. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because like we're
Yes.
past the tweets, we're doing posts now.
Yeah.
before we used to like do tweets, but like if you do tweeting, it's like just noisy things. You know, you ever had this problem where you like live in Spain and you have these big trees where all the weird sparrows and shit sit inside of every day at the end of the day, and they like make this insane fucking noise. That's what Twitter is. Posting is like a hypervector database of interesting things that can happen. It's a lattice. So we live in a post-tweet era. People still tweet, and it's so stupid. You have to like post. It's a different thing. Posting is like creating vectors and connecting shit to other shit and making it worth something. And the people who are extremely smart, they turn they make posts look like tweets so that people can't decipher the fact that there's a lattice there that connects to something else. So everybody thinks it's a fucking tweet, but there's like a way to decode it. And now all of a sudden everybody realizes, holy shit, it's just posts and vectors. What the fuck? And then you play the SimCluster video game of X.com.
Pretty
Yep,
cool.
pretty
All of this
much.
sounds insane to the uninitiated, but I promise you that eventually you'll understand it. You just have to like understand all of the context, and eventually you'll just, it kind of clicks, and you'll have this amazing feeling, and then you're addicted to knowledge just like me.
Yeah, you just have to see it
Well,
as a vector database that you're just appending to every day constantly.
Exactly. Like for instance, every single time I post something, so I post a thing and then everybody like likes it, right? So everybody is a very large weight in the system that has the power to add to distribution. So for instance, if you look at Elon, for instance, he's the ultimate demonstrator of that. Where remember when you could still see when he liked things, you could see that the moment that happened, the impressions on those specific posts went up because that's how like, you know, vector database works in a sense, right? Because you have your own reach and you can like amplify somebody else's reach by like validating it with your thing and your connection, right? And that's the same thing that applies for every single person here. We're like audience. So sometimes you'll find that there's like weird stuff on the timeline, or like for instance with all of you guys, if I like a lot of your content, you start to have like reach from very strange people. It's like, what is this? This is so interesting. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you have like a distribution system, and that is what creates like your timeline. So if you follow people who are stupid and then you complain about your timeline, well then that's your fault for following stupid people. Because they're the people that like
yeah.
distribute a very specific type of content amongst the people that follow them. And if you are one of the things that follow them, then your timeline is going to suck.
Are there any good tools that can help you figure out how to get a better quality timeline based on people you follow?
Yes, autism.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, back to the issue of weighted vectors. You know, Elon really he was able to kind of test in action the power of weighting certain things, like the word concerning. He basically completely monopolized the sentiment of that word. Now I feel like when I use it, I just think of every tweet that was concerning.
Exactly. Yeah. It's theocracy. Everybody just thinks of like Mark 21:8 when somebody says cyborg theocracy, and you like search it and you find all this cool stuff.
Yeah, Ardian. Yeah, Ardian.
Oh yeah, Ardian. Yeah, Ardian. Do I follow Ardian? I actually wonder. Hang on.
Have you read the book Human Forever?
No, I have not.
Oh man, got to pill you on that.
It's it's great shit.
All right.
Look up James
Yeah, James
Poyos.
Polis. If you don't follow him.
Let me look it up. I'll read the stuff and then I'll get back to you guys and see if he's like something I'm interested in. So it's Forever Human, eh?
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
I'll DM you because I can get you a copy of it. But that's
Hey,
like
thanks, man. That'd be
pivotal
great.
cyborg theocracy stuff.
Oh, cool. Love that, man. Dude,
That's like the
send me
foundational
literature.
thesis behind the whole like Bitcoin monastery and cyborg theocracy idea.
Oh, thanks, man. That would be so good. Yeah, definitely fucking send me that shit. I'll have a read into it.
Drowsy, do you know what year he put that out?
I think he wrote it in during COVID in the summer or the spring, and then he put it out in 2021.
That is so fucking
Like
crazy, dude.
Yeah, like March or
I
April.
feel like he was really prescient,
Oh,
even though it's only been a couple
I
of years.
think it's
like,
one of the finest pieces of writing. I like it. It really hit hard when it came out, and the prose is just it's great.
Dude, I hated the fact that I've been like
Yeah.
surrounded by so much noise because I could have just like I could have just read all of this really good stuff. You know, I could have just read like, you know, Benjamin Bratton's New Normal or like, you know, the dark stack, understanding what that is. the black stack, sorry, and like just the stack itself, and just read all of that, then read into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, I could have had such an amazing chain, but instead I was like inundated with weird ass fucking noise of environmentalists, which in hindsight is kind of good for gain, but you kind of just missed out on the initial hype. So you just kind of see the blockchain, you look at the history, and you get to relive it by just looking through all of the processes, and like reading these books is just like
Right.
that.
Yeah, for
Okay, because
sure.
we're all gonna win. So
Exactly. We just like decided to collectively log on one day at different points of the timeline, which are just like, part of the great fractal. And then we decided to start winning forever, and then we found each other.
True that.
Yeah, I don't see any other anything downward, in terms of the trend.
Yeah. Hey,
Things
Plato, what's up,
like
dude?
things are coming together.
Morning.
Morning, dude. How's meme deck?
Oh, we're cooking. We're cooking,
Good,
man.
good.
Yeah,
What's your
yeah.
next What's your next big thing?
Oh man, we have like a really cool video model update coming out. So that's
Sweet.
exciting. Yeah. Um, the story feature that I kind of teased to you. We're finally launching that probably today. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
So you can like lay out, you can storyboard the entire, this entire video that you want to generate with like all these individual clips. You click generate, it renders everything, and then you have like Pepe, hiking to the top of a mountain, like Lord of the Rings style. So
Brilliant.
yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, what about you? How are things on your side?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. It's like I'm doing triangle maxing, of course, just to kind of like solve problems. I've solved a lot of
Yeah.
problems this way, and like my life is taking on the information level a turn for the much much better, which is amazing. And my brain feels like it's clean now, like cleaner, and I'm just able to
Yeah.
rationalize more effectively now. And like, of course, I'm pretty sure you guys have been able to notice that the quality of my shows has like drastically gone up as a result of that. I'm also not as frequent on spaces because I just like, basically have, understood that there's so much value to the time that I have where I have to just condense so much of it into like this one point and then run a show every now and then to like output max value, but I can't just keep outputting max value if I can't mine it first.
Yeah.
yeah, cooking a steak was a good idea.
Yeah, and then we just had a little 21E8 crossover, had like a bunch of people up here. It just kept happening. I was like, hey, it's Jacob's joining. I was like, drowsy, and I see him down there and like see you coming in. I was like, oh, dude, we're getting the gang back together again.
Yeah.
You know? Amazing. We should have like a
For
little
all you guys.
we should have like a little 21E8 crossover space one day. Just like bring everybody in with that thing. I just like hop on my alt and do that shit.
We should all get on and mine silence together and just sit in silence.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. I'll get my Timeless Martian on there. We'll like do the space and we'll have like everybody there and we'll just do absolutely nothing except mining for silence.
Sweet.
Actually, we should really do that. We should ask Mark if he wants to be down for that.
Well, it's like Philip Glass,
Everybody's gonna be so confused. I really want to do that. That would be so funny.
Marathon silence mining.
Yes. I think we actually really should do that.
That would like break like people. That would really fucking confuse people.
Yeah.
Should we do it?
Just
Yeah.
for
Okay,
a
let's
meme,
do
I
it.
think. Yeah, go ahead.
Should we pick like a date?
We got to check in with the boss.
Okay, I check in with the boss and see if we can do it like next week, and on a day where almost nothing is happening because we have to like maxi the silence.
Yeah. Thursdays are usually the best night for that.
Okay.
I've
I mean,
found.
that's what's happening right now, isn't it?
Damn, is it really Thursday?
I mean, isn't it?
That sucks.
Yeah, it's like almost. It's like the AMs over the.
There's 26 hours of time zones.
The fuck are you doing, man?
I got a $30 Chromebook, and I just wanted to see what it was like.
Why are you
Talking about like
torturing
a
yourself?
mirror.
Are you a masochist?
I just wanted to know what it
I
was.
understand. I
You
understand.
know,
Yeah, yeah. I
Does
get
it
it.
does
You
it
just want
sound
to
like
cough it.
ScarJo?
does it sound like what?
Scarjo.
No.
Can you
It
Does
sounds
it
can you have
sound
it
like
like
say
$100
hello?
million
Tarkov.
lawsuit coming into like Sam Altman?
Jay, can
uh,
you have it say hello to all of us?
uh, well, I'm actually I'm doing a reboot, like total reboot. So
Okay. Have it like, read out some really fucked up stuff and see if you can get banned. I used to like do that with all the speech things. I used to make it say some really fucked up shit. And people would look at me weird. I'm like, you guys told me to do it. You said make it fucked. I'm like, here's your fucked. And you're judging me. Like, bruh, you just
So
contracted me. That's your idea, not mine.
when we get OpenAI back, can we get Microsoft to give us Microsoft Sam too, so we can hook it up to Grok?
We should actually get like the whole naming convention for like, Sam's models, and we have like O in front of everything, right? So it's like OpenAI's something something. So what if we had like, the OpenAI's Sam Altman model, so it's like Osama? I love that joke. It's one of my favorites. It's like Osama.
First time I'm
yeah,
hearing it. That's a good one.
yeah.
I'm hyperstitioning that shit. That's happening. Someone's gonna make that a real thing. It's gonna be an Osama model.
You know what's funny
Oh
about
yeah, I'm in
Osama?
100%.
It's not Osama, the other guy. It's like actually just the Sam Altman model. So it's like O and it's Sam Altman, so it's
It's
Osama.
Osama.
It's Osama, bro.
That's so funny.
Like eventually we're gonna
That
have the
guy sweats
Salmon
a lot.
model for no reason. Because it's a very fishy situation, and like they're trying to beat the like downstream of all the stuff that's coming, which is their hate. So they're gonna try and swim upstream like a little slippery salmon that's trying to evade the bears. Literally, perfect fucking metaphor for OpenAI to drop a fucking salmon model because they're literally upstream. Like you have the bear market problem where everybody's being bearish on you, so it's the bears trying to catch the fucking salmon. So you're basically putting your wind salmon in the fucking water, and you're saying, "Hey, dude, wind salmon reproduce, but swimming upstream first." So we're like gonna release the salmon model. Let's fucking do it. They should hire me as the marketing guy, okay? Because if you did that, you'd actually start making money.
Gay fish can't reproduce. So.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're not doing real things. We're doing virtue signaling and printing money. It's not like it's a real activity. Gay fish. Is that like is that where like we do the Alex Jones crossover?
Yeah, we do gay
Oh yeah,
frogs. We compete with gay salmon with gay frogs.
Absolutely, man. Nothing can happen there because like we're gonna do chud maxing, so nothing ever happens.
like beach bully maxing.
Chudda.
I
It's
like
like
it.
Buddha, but it's the chud, and it's like the asteroid. It says, "But what if?" No, it never does.
I've been having a lot of trouble finding like Chud Jack templates because if you go on Google Images, it's really hard to figure out like which one's the Reddit Jack, which one's like the soy Jack. It's hard to
I
like.
love
I
the
don't really
chud
know
jack.
how.
The chud jack is basically the soy jack that decided to not do soy anymore and just become the nothing ever happens guy because he can't be a nihilist because that's retarded. So you have to like become a guy that does real things. And so now you're the chud maxer who says nothing ever happens because you just have the self defeatism of everything being pre written, as opposed to understanding that you can choose which story as an outcome you'd like, which is the really one of the only choices that I believe you get where just you decide, hey, you're already part of the space, the vector space. You just get to be choosing what exactly the dot is and which vectors will be connected to you. Like here, you choose this path.
Yeah, and the Chudjack image that goes back like some time now. That's like a 10-year-old meme too. Like
Yeah, this shit goes hard, man.
very yeah, yeah.
Dude, old
Uh,
memes like that
no,
are the absolute best. They're so good. They're amazing.
I like the new
well, there,
Wojak variations, like the Redditor. You know the Redditor that like his mouth is open and he holds like his
Yeah,
phone
yeah,
dude,
out to
that's
you.
so messed up. That's so messed up.
I
yeah.
don't know his
I,
name.
I don't know his name either. I just know it's the Reddit Jack guy.
Yeah, Reddit Jack.
Reddit Jack.
Little world.
Indeed, indeed. I love those memes. They're amazing. There is one.
Yeah, and you're never gonna see it like on Reddit
Do
anywhere
guys, is there
either.
like a 2018 group chat where I can send all the racist memes? Just kidding.
You can send him over here, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
You know, like you put the thing here, it's like, here, test your cognitive security. Do you get offended by this? You know, here's your hero. Do you have heroes? If so, here's this thing that like makes your hero look so bad.
My
Are you
hero is
offended?
my hero is Elon Musk. What's the most racist thing you can say?
Oh my god, yeah. And it's like horrible stuff, you know? And you see all of that and you just get presented by it. It's like, do you remain cognitively secure and do you like not get offended? You know? It's like when you dare to criticize Biden in front of all the other people and the lefties just melt down. Whereas if you like you turn Trump into a meme, you just like make him more powerful because it's more transmission value, you know? Sorry, speculative value, my bad, because the transmission happens because of speculation. So that's the meme. You know, he's a meme. So like, oh hey, we're gonna insult Donald Trump now, and we're gonna call him like garbage, and we're gonna call his people garbage, and then he comes around with a garbage truck, and then he misses the opportunity of saying, "This is my garbage truck. There are many like it, but this one is mine." Like he could have said that, would have been great. But I mean, he did pull it off. He did roll up with a fucking garbage truck, one of those high vis vests. You know, like all you need to then do is like drink this weird energy drink that all the tradies drink that like tastes like green. That's the thing that's left for you to do. But really, that is
Dude, the
amazing.
McDonald's thing too. That was based.
Yeah,
I like
McDonald's.
that.
McDonald's was amazing. That was so fucking funny. Like we're gonna work there, and everybody loved it. That's how you could see who was gonna win the election because nobody who like drove through there got fucked by it. They just were like
Yeah, they just
saying,
enjoyed
"Yes, this is amazing."
enjoyed. Yeah, exactly.
You
Didn't
know.
the CEO of Google call Trump to tell him that was like the biggest hit of the year?
I don't know, man. I don't know
Did
about
he?
that. No.
That's wild.
Plato sending me
That
memes.
sounds like real. That sounds real though.
Oh my
I might have made
god.
it.
The Canadian meme is so fucked up. Oh my god. Plato sending me stuff. This is funny.
Sending you the racist memes you requested.
Oh my god.
Wait, we got racist memes? Fuck.
This one's not really bad. It's just here. I'll explain it to you. It's Canadians when they hear the U.S. national anthem instead of a Bollywood soundtrack, and it's
That
an
is
angry Canadian.
amazing. Oh my god, that is so fucked up. This is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
Americans love to get it from Canadians.
No, bro, the Canadians usually
Honestly,
get it from the Americans. So it's like, hey, we're gonna get the football team over there so we can legally violate you guys.
honestly, my favorite
That's
Canadian attack is just watching a South Park episode, and then you just have like there's so much Canada hate in South Park. It's actually
Dude,
glorious.
the movie is so good. Like the music in it and
Blame
everything. I
Canada.
think it's
Yeah,
a
that shit's
masterpiece,
hilarious.
honestly.
Yeah, the original movie is so good.
Yeah, like unbelievably. Like my friend just saw the Mormon one the other day for Valentine's Day, and he said that was really really good. And he's like
Adrian,
not a musical guy at all,
Yo, what's up?
but he
are you
knows
taking
it's
a
good.
piss?
No.
Oh,
Fuck.
okay.
Oh, I just ran into like the corner of the wooden table that you saw me cook the steak on earlier. Fuck.
Sorry, Jake. What were you saying?
I was just washing
Um,
my hands.
oh, I
Fuck.
forgot.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. My buddy went to go see the Mormon musical
Oh
for
yeah, my uncle
Valentine's
saw that.
Day,
He said it was great.
and
He enjoyed it.
yeah, he said it was
Yeah.
super super funny and like well written. And he's not like a musical guy at all, so I knew like I really want to see it now.
Wow.
What about you, Adrian? You go to
I
musicals
hate
much?
musicals, to be honest. I don't like musicals at all.
Yeah,
Musicals are
I like
almost like a
Annie Get
bane
Your
to my
Gun.
existence. I don't like them.
Yeah. What about what else is it? What are some other banes in your existence? I'm really curious.
Rambling people, people who think that windmill energy is the future, various other things, yes.
Vegans?
Hmm?
Vegans?
Vegans are not really a bane to my existence unless I have to actually talk to them because they believe things that don't exist.
Right.
Like, seriously, it doesn't make sense to be vegan. And to survive being a vegan is like one of the worst things you can do to your body. It's like, oh, hey, I have to like take all of these weird things, just to survive. Meanwhile, you know what I have to do?
Yeah.
Eat big steak, and my problems disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, we could
It's
have
like
just done
That
that the
shit
whole
Canadians going
time.
to
freaks me
Silicon
out, man.
Valley. It's kind of like vegans.
What the
How do we
fuck?
rank vegans and Canadians? Which one's on top?
It's the Canadians that are on top. The vegans will always get the bottom of everything. At least the Canadians like understand, hey, we're gonna like do all these things which are like understandable, you know? But all of that other stuff is just not understandable to me. Or maybe I just don't have the right mind virus to get it. And I don't really have a desire to do it.
Dude, they're like the most least argumentative people in North America. Like, period.
That's true.
Like, you would just talk to them and they would just like thank you, even though they totally disagree.
I mean,
Like
that's
you,
actually kind of true. The Canadians are like the German people of America.
yeah, definitely.
Like just minus all of the stuff that makes them warlike. Which,
Right.
ironically
Yeah.
enough, is what Germany is today. It's not very warlike. It's just kind of pathetic in many ways because they still have to. They
My
are
buddy moved.
healing. They are healing, which is a good thing. But
Are
it's
they?
very, very slow progress and very
Well,
limited as well.
what I'd love to see is that Germans get rid of the Syrian migrants that said that they would go back when Syria stabilizes. I don't know what the heck
Oh
is
yeah,
going on.
100%. Yeah, yeah, no, no. You came for your safety because you're like asylum seekers, so now you no longer need to seek asylum, so you can go back to like, where the thing is that you like, you sought asylum from. It's like there's the
Yeah.
thing that you sought asylum from no longer exists, so now we can go back home, right? Because you were only there for a temporary stay, which was the exact condition of an asylum seeker. You're there to seek asylum. So you can sit there for a while and wait until your country's war sorts itself out so you don't die, but since now the war's over, you can go back to the place where you came from, right? Because that's the agreement, isn't it?
Yeah, during the German elections, I debated a lot of German journalists, and I was like, "Well, Syria is now stable; they're getting money. Why should they stick around and get citizenships and privileges and like whatever?" And the excuse is, "Oh, but we need the labor. We need the labor. We need the money. We
No, you
need
don't need the
this."
fucking labor. Get fucked. You don't need the labor. This is the thing. You're gonna undercut all of the Germans, and you like are not going to leave any labor for the Germans to do. Well, that's gonna fuck up your thing. That's called the economy, and they're not really the labor either, because then you have all these people that live on the taxpayer's dime. That's not that's not labor. That's you taking advantage of the taxpayers that live in Germany. You know. You know
And
what's
also,
funny? I actually have a uniquely qualified position to speak on the German politics stuff, given that I am German myself. So this is one thing I actually get to have an opinion on. I don't vote, by the way, for anyone, because I have this thing where I like to remain eternally neutral when it comes to things like that. Maybe one day this might change in some regards, but I believe that at the current moment, not just the current moment, but just, with the current path, it makes sense to stay neutral.
this sounds
Yeah,
like a good
you
idea.
guys just got a new chancellor, right? Like a week ago.
Correct. Yep. New chancellor,
A new.
CDU, Christian Democratic Union, and it looks like he's going to be forming a coalition with the SPD, um, and the
This
FDP is
means
like,
this means economic
yep.
hell, by the way. I'm translating that. It means economic hell. Anything with like socialist in it needs to be deleted from reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like
he's
just
At
instantly. It's
least
a
yeah.
mental illness. Socialism is a mental illness.
and the new chancellor was asked, do you want to keep these borders open still? What about the mass migration? And he was like going off on a rant about how we need to protect the borders, sure, but we need to keep it open, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, have you guys not learned from what Merkel did to the predecessor? I mean, good God.
I'm gonna say something to like, in German that the Germans are gonna understand. Alter, was macht ihr da unten, Mann? Ihr zerstört gerade ihr gesamtes Land und das ist so schlimm. Ich möchte gar nicht mehr wirklich deutsch sein, weil es ist wirklich eine Blamage, eine internationale Blamage. Aufhören damit. Genug jetzt. Wollt ihr nicht ein bisschen überleben und nicht jetzt mit kompletten ökonomischen Terror leben? Wirklich? There you go. So that's also proof that I can speak German, which is funny. So just told me, do you want to like live under economic terror, or do you want to like do something that's actually like going to fix your country? Because like fucking hell, man, it's so bad I don't even want to speak German anymore because it's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing to see what they're doing down there. You know, it really makes me feel bad because then you like go into a space, for instance, and I was like, hey, we can have an argument of policies, but instead they come up to like insult each other on their history, and I'm like, so you don't do anything constructive. You just come up in a space, you have the one opportunity to speak, and the words that come out of your mouth are not words, they're like razor blades. You're not mining anything. You're just looking at the computer and you're deciding, this is a nice server rack, let me go piss on it. The fuck? Like, what, huh?
Why are you still there?
I'm not there. That's the point. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
there.
That's right.
I don't
Yeah.
live there. Fuck that.
You got family there?
Uh, it's a bit of a thing, yeah, you could, I guess.
'Cause that would be the only reason I'd ever go
I'm not
back.
going back there, no.
No.
I'm probably gonna like, unless everything changes there, I'm not gonna go back. Just not at
Yeah.
all. I don't see the point.
And that'll take like 30 years, 40 years, if that.
Yeah.
Like,
If I
Well, the
never
good
get to go there
anyways,
again in my life, that's also fine. That's understandable.
yeah.
well, the good news is
Hey, I gotta run, guys. Good talking.
All right, thanks,
All
man.
right.
Thanks for coming, dude. This is fun.
Super fun.
they
See you,
say the
Jake.
AfD will win the next elections, given that they're building on their momentum, and so maybe Germany can be great again, restored again.
Indeed. Yep, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, man. It is wicked.
AFD doubled their
Oh
support
wow,
since the last
nice. You
time,
got me
right?
the limit. Oh nice. You got like the limited edition. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was just saying AFD doubled their support
Hey, thanks,
almost
Drowsy.
from last time. So I think it's still progress, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean you can see a bit of change, so that's good for them. I like that. That's a good thing, and you can see some like shifts happening. But basically, if I wanted to predict something, I would assume that right now it has to get a lot worse, and they're going to have 4 years of very bad economic function. And then after that, I think the population will be so enraged and, you know, disenfranchised by the current state of things that they eventually crack and decide enough is enough and vote differently. The problem is, I'd hope that when that occurs, this happens in a manner that is civilized, because we wouldn't want to have, say, a event of any kind, or events rather, or chain of them even, that would be regrettable or something you wouldn't want to have to read in a history book and like reflect on. There is enough of those problems. So I think that perhaps if on a non-kinetic information level it would work out for people living differently, just because of economic problems, that would be one of the better outcomes. Because at this moment, I'd hope that there are lesser, economically harmful outcomes. But then again, that would be solely dependent on the nature of whatever they're trying to achieve in like their diplomacy. Because if their diplomacy sucks, there you go, you're done. Because this is going to like feed into how are they going to interface with America. Ironically enough, the smartest of the countries in Europe right now, especially European Union, are France, because they're like, hey, wait a minute, don't we like want to rule Europe? So we're just going to like produce all the energy. We're going to like get more nuclear reactors. So they have their own issues, of course, but they're doing things which are consistent with wanting to do things smarter, which I think is a start. You're just starting at the different end, where you're like just improving the thing that exists as opposed to improving the people. But you already have control administratively, so you don't give a shit about that. So you're just going to start improving things physically. So that's kind of how I see that. Quite a strange perspective, I know, but it's, I think, a very realistic one.
It sounds accelerationist, so makes sense to me. That's what you
Yeah,
got to do.
exactly. I'm the accelerationist, but like I'm faster by sitting in place faster.
Based.
I've done things already that are so far ahead of that where it's like you have the realization after I've already crossed that realization line before you've reached it. And now I'm just like looping back around the other end to say, hey, by the way, I've been here. Here's my proof. You know, I do this, by the way. So say, for instance, there's an event that exists in the future, and I want to practice the prophetic, the prophetic perfect tense. I basically write a post out that sounds obscure for the time, and then in the future, you know, I just already act on the stuff that's going to be good for the future. So I'm done. Already like crossed the line of realization. And then when the other guy comes around, I'm like, hey, by the way, here, check this out. You're like arriving at this point. Do you see my like post from 2022, and that's like 2026? And here's like 4 years later, the thing has happened, and I was right all along. And then you like eventually build up like your proof, you know. And so people then know you for like the oracle. And somebody actually called me just today, and we like had a great phone call. And he said, "Man, hey, it's amazing. I get to like speak to the oracle." I'm like, "That's a new one." So it's you become the magician at some point, and that's what you want to maximize. But people still will see the complexity of what you're trying to present and not be able to get the context as to why like we're able to mine this thing. And so they just equate it to magic, which is a great metaphor to understand the highly esoteric, you know, speculative thing that exists, and you're just hyperstitioning it into reality. Which is great. It's an amazing thing. I like it. It's fun. And it's a very productive thing to do. And it trains, because the more of that works, then the more of that you can do in the future. And it becomes a great thing. And I love it. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for the book. I'm going to like study the blade, so to speak, on that. So that's great. Awesome stuff. I like it when people like you don't just suggest me the reading material, but actually give me the reading material. That's a new one. And I like the fact you like keep your data. It's so consistent with the whole, you know, meme. It's so beautiful. I love it. Yeah, awesome. Wasn't this like is this in one of the blocks?
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
inscribed on the blockchain.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw
It's a
like
good
the
book.
blocks when I was there. It was really cool.
We had James speak at an event we threw in New York. We rented out a church, and we talked about network spirituality in New
Oh
York
wow, I had
back.
no
Oh
idea. That's
man, dude,
awesome.
I'm so jealous right now.
Yeah, it was
Next
When
pretty
was
time
cool.
that
that?
is
But it
there
was
like, can we like arrange another crossover event like that? That would be insane.
honestly, yeah. I mean, if we could get James in here, and you could pick his brain after. You should probably read the book first, because it
Yeah, I'm
gives a
gonna
lot
read
of
the
like
book
framing.
first. And then once I'm done, I'll like extend the olive branch and see if we can do a little proof of work thing.
Is,
And I'll
is
like
there a
ask.
recording of that meeting you guys had?
No, that was a private
Oh, that one,
private
yeah.
event. Yeah, the church
Gotcha.
event. It was
One
back
time
during
only.
Urbit Week. That was like eons ago, when Urbit was still a thing.
After midnights with Merlin. That's a funny quote post. Thanks, man. So just quote posted the space with us. That's fucking funny. I love it. Amazing. Very creative, very creative. Anyways, I'm
Adrian,
gonna
have
like
you?
rug the space. Go ahead.
Well, just one question, real quick. Have you read what is it, the H.P. Lovecraft? They had no deepness of Earth.
What's the title again?
They have no deepness of Earth. I believe
I
that's
haven't read
his
that
name.
yet.
Okay,
No,
it's
I'm
it's another
just.
one it's probably in one of the blocks. I'm pretty certain. So it would be some lore to consume. I'll send it your way if you're interested.
Yeah, well, yeah. Either one of us can get that too.
Okay. I'm gonna post something. I'm gonna post something fun. So I'm gonna post something, you guys, and I'm gonna tell you to go touch. So here's the thing that people don't understand about the genesis from where things actually come. When we touch grass, we wish to touch life, but when we actually touch the thing that gives it its life, that's when we can truly connect to the source and we get back to the glowing orbs. You know why? Because instead of just touching the grass, why don't we just touch the light? And if that's what we do, is that where we post from? You know, think about it. I touch a lot of grass, and I touch a lot of things that grow amongst that grass and that defeat the very grass that grows around it, because it has to. But I also have touched the light many times. And ironically enough, I still remember when like Grok came out, like the first version of Grok, and it was like, hey, roast everybody. It literally told me to go touch grass, but instead I like spent time outside on like that day so much that I got burnt by the sun. So I'm like, I did in fact touch the light more than I did touch the grass, which was funny. Whereas somebody else got roasted by Grok in a similar way and he started crying. I'm like, bro, you got roasted by an AI system that has literally no like means by which it can actually insult you and hold it to you. It just did something based on your own instructions and you can't take your own intent. What? Sir, but is that called bipolar?
Adrian, did you try Grok Voice?
I tried it.
No, not yet. No, not yet.
I tried it. It's pretty
Okay.
interesting.
I've been busy, but I've been busy doing voice here. And doing like calls with people. So I'm pretty stretched, you could say. Sounds wrong, but yeah. Anyways, this has been great. We should do another little crossover event. Like see if we can reach out to the boss and like see what we can do to like make the little mining silence thing. I'm seeing a guy request. I forgot the name of that entity, but it's like the weird mythical thing. Oh my god, that's such a racist, fucked up stuff thing. Oh my god, that's such a fucked up legend. Anyways, I like see the profile picture, I recognize it. Yeah, anyways, thank you all guys for coming. This is great. Thank you for watching me make my steaks. Thank you for just listening and hearing me ramble about stuff. And hey, thanks for you guys coming, eh? Especially like having a little crossover here. I thought it was great. Yeah. Anyways, Play, you get back to building your thing. Good luck on that. Drowsy, whatever you're doing, I have no idea what you're doing, but you keep doing whatever that is. You seem to be doing well. Utsav, you do your thing. Blythe, I'll see you around. I'm pretty sure you're going to go to bed. I'm going to have some more Halo until, like, you know, whatever happens, happens. And Siraj,
Halo?
you stay cracked. Yep, I play Halo Infinite because it's great slop. I enjoy it. Defrags my brain.
Oh shit.
This is a thing I can accept, you know? It's I know the game is like built by woke people, but it's just simple enough for me to be like, hey, I have infinite ammo and I can just like blow up random enemies. I'm like, this is fine, I can deal with this. It's a nice little background process, and I think of memes and then I post memes.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Halo evangelist. I'm very happy to hear you're playing Halo.
Yeah. I play some like Path of Exile 2 sometimes, but at some point it becomes like a job of like figuring out math, and I want to figure out the math of, you know, the vector space on x.com and play the video game. So just I'm already playing that video game, so now I'm gonna play this video game here. So I like play 3 games, but it's 2.
Nice.
Godspeed.
All right, man. Do you play Infinite as well?
Yeah, I played the original trilogy over and over again on Master Chief Collection, but I do play Infinite, so we should think about that.
Yeah, we should link up. You do the PvE thing, or do you use this PvP?
Both. Yeah, we can do
I
it.
like the PvE more because I just can't be bothered with PvP, to be honest.
I like flying around and just chilling.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we should link up, man. I'll
Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
fuck yeah, I'll DM you some stuff. Yeah, anyways, see you guys around. This is awesome. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.